My name's Gillian Hill. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Concinnity Genetics. We're a spin-out company from Edinburgh University and are developing RNA-based control systems for use in cell and gene therapy. We spun out of the university at the end of 2024, and we're now located in Glasgow within the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital campus. We wear a lot of hats, especially being a small company. Startup company means that you get involved in absolutely everything. Yeah. So like I said, we spun out probably the end of 2024. First objective was really to set up the labs and operations to be fully functioning and compliant in the shortest time possible, which I think is true for most companies when they spin out. They want to be operational as fast as they can. And this involved sourcing, purchasing, installing, validating equipment for our laboratories. And as a new company, everything was being set up for the first time. We faced additional procurement hurdles in that although we had budgeted for equipment, we didn't yet have a credit history. Although we knew the compliant processes, we were in the middle of writing the policies and SOPs. Four of us were wearing many different hats prior to hiring additional people, so we were short on bodies. And also we had some post-COVID supply chain challenges getting some equipment and consumables. And on top of this, all of the equipment that we ordered, we wanted over the Christmas period for delivery in the new year when suppliers historically shut down or slowed down. So we had quite a number of financial and procurement challenges, and that's really why we decided very early on to come to Amici. We knew that we needed a little bit of a hand with that. Traditionally, everybody reverts when you don't have any systems in place. Revert to Excel spreadsheets and bits of paper, and getting sign-offs and passing these round and emailing information from one to another. It's very laborious. It's quite old-fashioned and very time-consuming. And obviously, I had used Amici in the past in other companies, and I knew how beneficial it is to a company. So the first companies we contacted at the end of Q4 in 2024, as soon as we had secured the laboratories. Obviously, one of my key roles in operation is implementing lean, scalable and compliant processes. I want to ensure that our scientists can focus on science and our CFO can focus on the wise use of funds without unnecessary administrative tasks. So, it was really important to us to get a hand with that and make sure that, we could change from the paper-based system to a sort of leaner, scalable system. And obviously, when we came to Amici, our labs were kitted out and operational within a couple of months of accessing our new facility. And I think that probably would have taken us double that time if we hadn't used Amici team to help facilitate it. And obviously, additionally, we had savings via Amici, and that meant we came in under budget. So it's a win-win situation because the savings are not only in cost, but in time as well. I know that using Amici early on, it's extended our runway both in reduced setup time and in cost savings. I would say we probably saved a couple of months in terms of time. And I think in savings, we probably saved at least 20%. I have used Amici in the past. And I knew a little bit more. I knew Amici was a wee bit more than just software, a wee bit more just than procurement. So when we had a project initially to set labs up, that project really, we needed a group of people who understood our needs and could work with us as a team. So the support we received from Amici was fantastic throughout. I think the team took time to understand Concinniti's technical requirements and budget expectations initially. And also, I would have said that Amici team's scientific background and real-life lab experience gives them a wide-ranging technical knowledge. And also, they had an understanding of the latest models of equipment. This gave our scientists a lot of confidence in selecting and future-proofing the best make and model of equipment. A lot of time, scientists or staff will always default to the kit that they know, and there's no issue with that. But what we could do was, like I said, future-proof it, look at what our immediate needs were, but what we may need in the future, and buy the kit that would be scalable and expandable to what we needed in the future. And we took a lot of advice from Amici team for that. They were also extremely organised and dealt with the tendering process, quotations, summarising comparative quotations from suppliers, etc. All of the legwork that saved us doing it. The communication was excellent as well from the start of the process to delivery, installation, validation, and even post-use check-ins. After we had the equipment, we're up and running, they still checked in just to make sure everything was okay. The deadlines were always met, even over a holiday period, which was extraordinary because we really didn't expect things to progress as quickly over the Christmas period. And they always presented updates in a timely manner with clear notes and clear actions. So in summary, nothing seemed too much trouble. We really felt we were invested in our setup as much as we were. And, we feel we've been very well looked after. We worked together as closely as we would have if they were on site. And actually, they did come on site a couple of times as well, just when they knew there was a lot of orders arriving, just to make sure everything ran smoothly. So yeah, absolutely. We'd have them in our team any day. I think, looking at the sort of traditional method of raising purchase orders and then sending them around feels very old fashioned. Everybody likes to order online and, why can't we have that in Biotech? So it really is as easy as that. So not only procurement, but ordering and approval is easy. We had a team of people who'd never used this software before. And after a short training session, all were up and running really quickly. The support during the setup and afterwards was excellent too. I'd say the system is very intuitive and new users quickly adopt it and actually can't imagine ordering any other way. Our scientists can easily check what alternatives and stocks available. They can place orders themselves, they can pop the item in the basket for later. And at checkout, this automatically goes, depending on our approval limits that we set to comply with our financial controls, automatically goes to a manager or maybe 2 sign-offs before it then gets approved. But all of this is automatically generated and sent. So real-time approval is really what we use. It doesn't matter, for example, if our management are away, abroad, they can still approve these POs compared to the traditional old-fashioned way or waiting for emails, etc., to come through. There's full visibility, and I think the other thing as well is that we can track purchase orders for non-biotech items such as consultancy or training. So we've got one system for all our POs, and our scientists also have got real-time visibility of the orders that they placed or placed for them. They can work out delivery dates, and that allows much better project management. They don't have to, it's like one-stop shop. They don't have to continually have a number of different suppliers that they've got to go and speak to. So they just look on the MyAmici platform. They can see what they've ordered, when it's coming in. If it has come in, it's been checked in. Can even check where it's stored if need be. So I'd say that all round, I think everybody is more than happy with the platform. So setting up the company and based on past experience, I think finance is expected to spend a significant amount of time on purchasing admin. So things like matching purchase orders, delivery notes, invoices, chasing up suppliers, credit, all of these functions, that are, I would say, financial admin functions. So procurement systems aren't just for large companies. And I think this is it's hard to get your head around this if you're an SME and you've got lots of things going on. Whether you're a startup or a scale up, you have got a lot going on, but they aren't for large companies. The cost benefits for SMEs speak for themselves. I think other purchasing consortiums that I've come across neither offer the software capabilities nor the level of support that Amici do. Other SMEs that I've worked with and anyone I've spoken to can't believe how they managed before they implemented Amici. Lab staff love the system. It provides an easy method for ordering, approval, visibility. Management love the system because they get visibility and easy approval process. They can keep their sort of tabs on how much is getting spent at any one point. Operations love it, obviously, as it streamlines the process and allows easier project management. Finance love the traceability, compliance, cost savings, and reduced admin. And I think everyone appreciates the support and the first-class service they receive from the team behind the Amici name. So to me, it's really fairly simple and it's a no-brainer. So there's a time that is really hard to quantify in some ways, and a lot of people look for hard savings rather than soft savings. I think, especially with a smaller company, and having something that's scalable, I think is really beneficial, and having that early on. I think for larger companies, the amount of time that they will save will really be compounded by the fact, that they're bringing something in as their company grows. The cost savings, obviously, initially in equipment, that is something that, as a small company, we could have probably got one or two items cheaper, if I'm being totally honest, but that's only because, if you come in and buy, we'll give you a special offer at 20% off, but then what sometimes is hidden in these costs is things like the transportation, the installation, the validation, etc. And so sometimes there's hidden costs in that as well. I think we got full transparency with Amici. We knew exactly. We could choose whether we wanted to purchase or not purchase. That's a choice. But what we have found is that the overall savings on the consumables and the equipment that we've received has definitely saved us money. And whether you're a small company starting up, having to kit out, the ease of having that project and the time saved, and also solving any issues that we have, because obviously, you know, suppliers are not always able to deliver when they said. And we just found solutions for us we couldn't have found ourselves. We certainly couldn't have had the level of discount on all the consumables that we purchase now, as a small company. There's absolutely no way that we could get that. The buying power that Amici has is much greater than the small savings that we could make on maybe one or two items. So overall, we've definitely come in under budget, and that has been fabulous, because that again has given us a bigger runway. I would say that time and money gives you a longer runway, and that's exactly what we've had from implementing Amici.